Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Today I shouldn't really be doing no videos because I'm supposed to be no work, but it's not work. It's just meeting family, innit? Well, as you know now, this is Uriel. He is full body ad vinyl. And it could be any gender because he doesn't have the boy part. And he don't have the girl part. And I just made him. Hey, just turn your feet that way. I just made him a boy. Because he did come as a boy. But there, I just turned his feet to face that way a little. And he decided he wanted to do another video today. And I will share. There we go. I will share. Yeah, he took his hat off and put it in my wheelchair. So you see him without the hat. Don't have beautiful hair. Apart from somebody cutting his hair, it kind of made a mess. Now I'm not sure if it's my kids, like Henry or Hunter's cut his hair. Oh, it was done when he wasn't with me, like in China. So yeah, it did come from Timu, who is a Timu boy. And we're still in dark. I can't seem to get my light to shine. And let me see, because this is driving me nutty. No, it won't do it. So we're stuck. I'm in a purple long sleeve shirt. It's 79, feels like 88, and the shade's 71. 81, sorry. But to me it feels really cold. But then again, I spent all late afternoon, well from 3:30. No, it wasn't from 3:30. From 4 p.m. right through till 8 p.m. I spent in the ER, the emergency room, with Henry, whose blood sugar shot up to 382. And that's the one that can give you anything like from a seizure to a coma. So he was in dire straits last night. We ran straight to the ER. I called his blood sugar doctor at 10 to 4. And I said, where's the diabetic doctor? I said, look, his sugar's at 387, not 78. 387. What? You told me to call you if it went to 200 plus. It's 387. And he said, since he's not on insulin, take him to the emergency room, and if he has to stay in, come to the one near the clinic and I can visit him and take it from there. Well, we didn't have to stay in, and we always go to the one near the clinic because that's the only one that has a pediatrician section as well as adults. So I went there and we spent there until 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, from 4 till 8, and his sugars came down at 5 p.m. but he had tests done and there was no glucose dramatically in his urine. So he has no urinary tract infection to cause his blood sugars to go crazy. He hadn't eaten since lunch that day. So yeah, that was my day yesterday. So today, the boys are not here, that's why it's so quiet. They've gone to see family. Now, this is the sad part, not for me, but it's a sad part really. I'm not allowed to go anywhere if they visit family, because family don't like me. I know you're all screaming, get out then and find someone that does truly love you. Well, I can't. I am up shit creek without paddle. So yeah, I cannot get out because he is not Jewish, but I am. And I have actually spoken to a rabbi, and my rabbi said, you can't really do anything unless he cheats or he beats you. So if he puts a hand on me, or he cheats on me, does adultery, then I can't do anything until then. That happens, and it is not cheating. But there's something about him that I don't want to share yet. Even though I have, even his family have said it. It's something not nice. His family thought he was gay. And when they kicked me out of the bedroom, the married bedroom, after 3 months of being married, and I was pregnant with their daughter, at the end, just 3 months after we got married, they kicked me out of the bedroom. And they said, he's effing gay. If you don't let a woman come in your bedroom, only if you want to do things with her, then, and you just let her into that bedroom just for that, then you're effing gay. That's what his family was saying. And I'm on the fence. I'm like, if he was gay, why doesn't he hang out with men like that? Why is he always at home? So yeah. I'm drinking coffee. And it says, of course I talk to God. Who else can I trust? That's the honest truth, isn't it? Who else can I trust? And I've spilled my guts out. I'm wheezy today. Ignore it. I'm just not breathing right. I think I'm coming down with a chest infection after that cold that I could not shake. It was not COVID. I did get checked. Did not have COVID, which is good. And this little boy is fine. It's because it's all vinyl. He does have joints. It says he's got 9 joints, but I can't find 9 joints because all his hands do is go up and down. His head goes up and down back. So I guess that's one of it. But that could become as one joint for the neck. So I can do 360 up and down. I don't know. Maybe this is the 9 joints that they're talking about. You know the little girl that stands at 32 inches and she's got lovely long hair. I wanted her, but she's always sold out. Always. She comes back in stock and I thought, yes, stay there for another 5 days and I can get you. Well, she's gone again and I'm like, I can't get her now and I don't know when she's coming back out because it takes ages to make her. So I've looked, Rocky, the noise you hear in the background is Rocky licking his leg, his paw. So I do have the dogs in here. When Ricky's here, he wants the dogs with him. That's my AC clicking on because it's warm in here. And when he's not here, I let the dogs roam around the house, be with me. I like my dogs with me. Tinkerbell's my dog. Rocky's my dog. Because he doesn't really bother with Ricky. The only time he bothers with him is if he wants a bit of attention and then he gets it. Doesn't he? Yeah. I'm going to change his clothes tonight. So he's not going to be wearing this when he comes back on. I'm taking him out of his khaki pants, which is the same colour as Henry's uniform pants. So he loves that because he loves his big brother. Hunter's not so sure about him because of what's inside him. I don't feel any malicious thing, but he does do malicious things. He's attacked Henry a few times by showing a demonic hunter. But is not the demon from this house, is another one. So I've got two. This one came with him. Is it raining? No. We were supposed to have really severe torrential weather, heavy rain, flooding, thunderstorms, possible tornado. Did not happen. We got some heavy rain around 4 a.m. right through till 8, 9, maybe 9:30 this morning, with a few rumbles here and there. There's nothing to write home about. To get to sleep, I leave my TV on at night. Excuse me. I leave my TV on at night so I can put thunderstorms on the TV on YouTube, or a crackling fireplace, or I don't know, the ocean. So yeah, that's what I do at night. I do have my fan going for, you know, the white noise, the background noise. Sometimes it gets so cold in my bedroom that I have to turn it down, then it gets too hot in my bedroom, then I've got to turn it back up again. So right now it's on full blast. And the kids were complaining, Mom, it's cold. I said, well, give it another half an hour and you'll be saying, Mom, it's hot. Because the AC does go off, and for some unknown reason, when it reaches 72 in here, it disappears. But sometimes when it's on 76 in the house, which is way too hot for me, I can have it from 72 to 73. Below 72 or below 71, I can't deal. It's way too cold for me. And my body thinks I'm in the Arctic. My husband likes a cold room in a cold bedroom. Now we've got two running ACs because this used to be a condominium, and the way it's still set, I think his dad tried to make it be one AC, but it didn't work out. So Ricky's got his side, I've got my side. Ricky was supposed to have his side with the boys, but the boys refused to go into their bedroom, so they sleep with me. So I have two boys that's now 8 and 7, because then Hunter just celebrated his birthday. Next week is his party, and I've still got to send out the invites. So we're not having it at home. I hope I don't have it at home. I want to take him to the duck pond like I did. Well, it's a duck pond park like I did with Henry. And there is tables for have a picnic or a party. You can have a birthday party. You can have your wedding venue there if you like. But yeah, it's versatile. So I'm hoping I can do the same for, I'm spasming, so he's moving. I just want to do the same for Henry, because when it was Henry's birthday, Hunter said, Mama, why can't I have like this? And I said, okay, you can have it when it comes to your birthday. Well, his birthday is here and he still wants it. Usually, you don't want to do anything. Now, Henry said for his next birthday, he wants it at home. He said he was happy with the duck pond, but after a man who had a severely disabled child, he was very autistic indeed. And it wasn't the child's fault. I blame the parents. Even though you've got an autistic kid like I have, he's 19, you still have to discipline that child like he's a normal kid. He's a normal kid, but he's just got a deficit. He's autistic. You've got to make him understand in his way. So you've still got to discipline him no matter what. Well, this parent did not discipline this kid. And he was 22 when he was pushing little babies. He pushed over a 1-year-old, he pushed over Henry, he pushed over Hunter, he pushed over, oh my gosh, he pushed over this other little boy who was attending the birthday party for my son's school at that point. And his dad flipped. He said, I don't care how old your child is, I don't care what he suffers from, I'm not going to pick on that kid, I'm picking on you. It went from there, and I was like, shall I end the birthday party now and tell everyone to go home? Or shall I keep the birthday party going and let these two have a discussion, but try and move the kids away from where we were sitting to eat and go play for a minute? Well, they were all, some were 10 still. Henry had just turned 11. And I said, Henry, take your brother, who was just turned 7 a few months back, before, well, his birthday's 3rd of September. His Hunter's. And I said, Henry, take your brother, take his then girlfriend. I said, take your girlfriend, take your girlfriend's cousin, and come up, go away from this situation. I said, take your cousins, which they were 8 and 3. I said, just take the cousins to go play. Your cousins, your aunt will come with you. And she put a thumbs up to me and said, yeah, I'll take them. Because she was like getting antsy, and she's a nurse. And she went up, she did actually say, you can't let your kids push a baby. Luckily it wasn't her child, but it was someone else's, and they was not linked to the party. And then there was this other family, and they were just sitting there minding their business, and it was 2 little boys. And I went up to the mum and I said, would they like to join the party? We've got so much pizza, if they've no food allergies. And she said, you know what, my kids have never been to a birthday party yet. You're the first one who's not in our family circle that's invited and involved our children. And I said, you're even allowed to join if you like. You know, I've got so much juice. And she went, you know what, I think I will. So she joined us, and it was fun. The kids had fun. And I said, right, since they joined, they're gonna come home with a, you know, a nappy bag. And they were just thrilled to bits, and so was I. I love children. If I'm having a party and it's a kids party, because I don't have much adult parties, I'm not into it like that. And if I'm having a party, then hey, that kid's more than merrier to join. I just don't mind it. And I'm drinking it like that, but every time I put it to this side, and I'm drinking it like this, even on this side. I don't know, I just kind of like this my mouth today. This is my second t-shirt add-on. Luckily the other one was iced coffee. This is lukewarm, isn't it? But yeah, this little boy, you can't really see him, and he does look like he's got black eyes, but today he had the brown. And we had the blinds up, so if I just put this, I don't know if it's because it's dark a little. Let's see if I can raise it up and give a sign. It doesn't do anything, does it? It just washes him out. Then I've got next door neighbour, because, no, not next door neighbour, but it's somebody that tries to get rid of rodents. Unfortunately, my next door neighbour, he has like a hamp problem. It's no rats or anything, but they normally come out if you've got rodents. It's one of his workers, and they've had rodents before. Luckily, touch wood, they haven't come to mine. And he's got so many sugar ants. We've got sugar ants around. We've just, Yesterday my husband just trashed the kitchen out. He just pulled everything out, squirted around, then he washed it down, and then he put everything back. So I said, there's no way I'm going to get on that floor and you're going to have to pick me up. And we put the coffee maker back, we did everything. And the kids have, like I said, the kids have gone with him to see family. And I'm stuck at home. We're married, but we don't do anything together. The only time I'm told to come along is if we go to the store or we go to the YMCA, which I work out at the YMCA anyway, so I don't mind going to that place. But the only places I go now is the store, the YMCA, doctors and hospitals. I'm not involved in anything. I want to go to the post office to mail customers their items, that's it. It's kind of sad, but it's been like this for 10 years. You think you'd really get used to it. I'm used to it, to like 90% used to it. I can't drink no more coffee. I'm used to it to 90%. But yeah. The reason I can't drink that coffee is because I put milk in it. I usually put coffee mate in it. But I decided just to add a little bit of milk, because all I've been doing for the past 2 weeks is drinking iced coffee. Last night I had a hot coffee at 11:30 because I had to stay awake until midnight to keep an eye on Henry's sugars. And all he did was sleep through. He'd wake up this time when I called his name, or he'd go, huh? What? Or he'd mumble something in his sleep like he was dreaming. Like, yeah, Mum, take my phone then. Put it on charge. And I said, kiddo, your phone's already on charge. You gave me it at 9 o'clock. And he didn't hear it. So, yeah, it's funny. But this one's Henry's favourite boy. Henry just, even though he does mean things, Henry just loves him to, you know, the moon and back. He just absolutely loves this kid. His dad, Henry and Hunter's dad, my husband, because we took Hunter for his 8-year check yesterday at the clinic, so my day was full of clinics and then an unexpected hospital visit. And then Ricky said to the doctor, he plays with my wife's reborn doll. And he only plays with one, and it's called Uriel. Now, he does actually hold him. He doesn't play with him, he just sits him on his knee and takes him to watch TV. And sometimes I hear him ask my reborn, well, Ariel, not Uriel, because this is Uriel. Ariel, what do you want to watch? And then I don't hear nothing back, so he doesn't answer himself. And then I see him and he's put on this gaming video again. I said, you're not watching that. Because I was cussing, I said, turn it off. And he turned it off straight away. So he asked the doctor, my son is going down the gay path. And the doctor said, what do you mean? And he said, he comes home from school, he goes into his mum's bedroom and he gets a reborn doll. And he starts holding it, talking to it, playing with it. I said, you don't play with it on the floor like he's walking it or anything like a little girl would. He sits on a seat, on the chair, and he watches TV with it. He holds it, he wraps it up. He doesn't give it things. He doesn't put anything in his hands. He just sits there, watches TV with him, or gives a movie blanket absolutely around them both, and they're off again watching TV. I said, that's all he does with him. And she said, let me tell you a story then, shall I? I have a kid that's 15. He's normal, he doesn't have no ADHD, he does not have any, autism or anything. And she said, he comes in here and he brings his own reborn doll. At first I thought it was real, and I thought it was his brother or something. And he said, no, it was his. And she says, that, what your son is doing, will make him be the perfect father to his children. He's showing he will take the child and sit down with it, give it maybe a bottle so mama can sleep and the baby's with daddy bonding. He's showing you he's capable of being a good dad. And he said, that's just BS. He actually did say the full word. And she said, I'm telling you the truth, as a pediatrician and as a doctor, is normal. He's showing he can be responsible. He's showing he has, like a motherly instinct, a parent instinct, a father instinct, to be a good husband, a good father, and a good character. And my husband wasn't happy with the reply, and I said, there you go, Hunter, you can play with any of my reborns, because he likes picking up Serafina, but he'll only hold her for a little while because she gets too heavy for him. And he says, Mum, you can have her back now. But Uriel is not really weighted, and he'll just sit with him in his arms. So if you've got children that's young and they want to play with your reborn, let them. Especially if they're boys, let them. Because it's learning them how to be man, it's learning them how to be a father. My child did it out of the blue, and Uriel turned up on my doorstep. Hunter was at home because it was a weekend. Oh, you're cramping me up, kid. Hold on. Oh. And the moment he came in and I sat him here on the sofa after holding him a little bit, he said, Mommy, I like him. I said, good. He said, I'm going to class him as my brother. I said, okay. So both my kids class these babies as their extended brothers and sisters. They don't tell people they're the brothers and sisters, because I tell them that they are dolls anyway. People give me bad looks. People say, are you crazy? And people say, oh, they're giving me bad vibes. It's like, yeah. And I said, okay, that's fine. They're just called reborns. And I said, you can have them because you love them, or you can have them because you need it for anxiety and stuff. I don't have neither. And I just love being with my reborns. And some I get, complimented, like, they're really beautiful babies. How real do they look? And I got, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, we went to the store because I needed bread and milk. I always need bread and milk. My husband doesn't really like eating my bread because I do it round. I do it in a normal bread pattern like you get from the store, but I don't do the long bag because I don't have a long tray, and my stove or my oven, well, my oven or my stove doesn't work, so I have to use a small one. I'm just messing with your feet, aren't I? A small one. So yeah, My kids eat my bread like it's going out of fashion, but the only thing my husband will now eat of mine is cakes, and he still says it could be good enough. The stars taste better. But it's always, since I came here, I started cooking. The day after I arrived, I started cooking meals with his sister. That's all those girls ever did, was cook and clean, cook and clean. And Ricky would eat, his dad would eat. And when Ricky said one thing, because Tammy had cooked something that day, and she did most of the prepping and everything. And he says, this is shit. And she said, you've eaten that before, so why are you saying that? He said, it just doesn't taste right today. And she went, you know what? I no longer cook for you, I cook for Dad. Well, Daddy. I cook for Daddy, you just to come and eat. And I cook for Becky, and I cook for Henry, and I cook for Hunter. At that point, Hunter wasn't here, but she went, Henry's in her belly, so I cook for the baby in her belly, and I do this and I do that. It was weird. Now he says, your cooking is not good, you cook like a old woman. You cook old-fashioned rubbish. And I said, when I cook my Yorkshire puddings, you eat them like they're going out of fashion. He said, you haven't made them for a while. I said, because everything I make you complain, so I no longer cook. I buy canned food now instead of making it from scratch. And then the kids are getting fed with the canned food, and so am I. I like things made from scratch. And yesterday I made stew, because we've got a cold front, which is like it's not a cold front, but it's a cool front. It goes down to the 80s this week instead of being in the hundreds. So we're in the 80s. Today it's 79 is the high. And then tomorrow's 88. And it'll feel like 95 or 98. But there's that little nip in the air, you can feel it. So it don't feel like it did like a few weeks ago, where it was always 115 or 120. It just doesn't feel like that anymore. So I made soup, well, stew, beef stew, and my son just ate everything out of it. He had a bowl this afternoon. Yes, we do warm it up, of course, but it's already made, so it doesn't mean you're you're not preparing anything, you're not prepping anything on a Saturday, because that's our Shabbat. And we warmed up some stew, he had it, I wasn't hungry, still not hungry, and it's now after lunchtime. I think it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock. And I'm not eating all day. I have just had 2 coffees, and then I've just not really been, I don't know. I had turkey hot dogs yesterday, and I bit into it. It was so hot that I've got a blister on top of my roof of my mouth, just by my front teeth. I think that's why I'm not really hungry, because every time I breathe in I can feel the blister. And when I touch it with my tongue, I kind of taste it, but there's nothing coming out of it yet. And once it pops, I'll be just messing about in my mouth, trying to get the loose skin off. Because it really feels weird. If you've ever bent your mouth and you've had blisters, then yeah, you know what I mean. But if you haven't, you're lucky. I can't have my ribbons, because I love this little one. It's all creaky, I know. And I'd love this little one at my table. Excuse me. choking on my own saliva, on my own air, and I'd love him to be at the table with me and the kids. I'd also love Izzy to come and join us because she's basically same height as him because she's the Liam sculpt. So I'd love them two to be at the table. And then I've still got to do work on Amos's legs, see if I can make them looser. Gee whiz. Make them looser and where he's just not bunched up like he's got CB, cerebral palsy, which I don't mind because I have a brother that had that. And my daughter tested, before she died, tested positive for Down syndrome. And I was hoping that I would have an angel on earth, but I do have angel on earth because I've got all my kids. But I didn't mind that she had Down syndrome. She was still normal to me. So when I got told she was Down syndrome, I was like, I'm not killing her. I'm keeping her. And the doctor said, are you sure? And I said, I am keeping her. I can't believe in 2000s you're asking me if I still want my kid. I said, it's just blowing my mind, you know. And then I'm reading on, I don't get on Facebook that much now. Excuse me. And I don't get on Instagram either as much as I normally do. Because the reason being, I am sick to death of reading a child got killed by its parents. A child got run over by its grandmother. A parent killed an autistic kid. Then an autistic kid got killed in New Orleans by an alligator. If they have that, you know, that's severe with autism, then you've got to treat them like they're a 2-year-old. Keep an eye on them. And you've still got to, you know, try to tell them, even though it's hard, it's really hard, to try and make them understand, because they don't understand fully. They don't grasp it. That it's dangerous for them to go out the front door. Keep the front door locked. Put them in the backyard if you've got a good one, or any backyard, and make sure the back gate's locked and they can't get out. That's the only way we parents can keep our kids safe. I did it with Paul. Yes, that's my 19-year-old son's name, Paul. I know I said I couldn't drink coffee, but well, I'm choking. So, yeah. I used to keep Paul in the backyard. And if I went out in the front yard, I was right there. And if he tried to get near the road, I'd say, hey, Paul, stop. No, no. And you stop. And I've done it since he was little. And then, you know, things just, you keep doing it all the way through his life. No, Paul, that's not right for you. That's not how we do things. We can't do that. He had a tendency of pulling hair, and I said, nah, we don't pull hair. Do you like it? And I used to tug his hair. Not gonna hurt you, you know, just like that. I said, do you like that? No. Then don't do it to other people. They don't like it, don't do it. So he stopped after being tugged on just a little bit. Do you like it? No, don't do it. Because no one else likes it either, it hurts. Because I mean, he'd grab on and he'd yank you. And no, he did me once. And out of the blue, we were eating out one day, and I went and took him to a proper restaurant, and all my other kids, my other 2 girls, at that point were pretty good. They did not step out of line. They did not act silly. They actually acted like little ladies. And out of the blue, I just took a bite of food and swallowed it and took a drink. Paul yanks my hair. And I'm taken back and I'm like, what did you just do? And he started laughing. And he went to do it again. And I said, no. And I used to tug his hair. And I didn't tug it. I just grabbed it and just went, do you like it? Just like I did Uriel, like that. Do you like it? So you're kind of rubbing his head instead of pulling. I said, do you like it? But you've got his hair and you don't like it. And I said, no one likes it. It hurt like Joe Bugger. It really hurt. And I said, nah, we're not doing that. Then I had Jason. He used to bite. He only bit twice though. That's really weird because usually children bite more than that. And he bit and I never bit him back. And I said, if someone bit you, would you like it? No. Then don't you bite no one else again. Well, he bit the same little girl in the playgroup. And I said, what? I said, okay. Now I'm going to ask her to bite you. Would you like it? No. I said, well, don't bite. It hurts. And he never bit. He's now 14 years old. He's never bit from that time. That I know of, never been told. Then Henry, he still bites. He's 12. He bites his brother till he bruises him or he nearly breaks the skin. And I keep telling his ADHD and counsellor that, look, he still bites. I said, you can bite him back, punch you in the face. I said, you can, do things he does to you back to him. Even when he said, no, you don't do that. Not in my house. Not around me, you don't. You don't do it, period. And he'll still do it. So we're trying to do that. And I said, sometimes I think he's autistic. And they said, no, he's not autistic. It's just a child that, yeah, you disciplined him, but other people around you spoiled him too bad. And I said, that's truth. Because my late sister, used to spoil him every time he went to the store. He used to ask for something, and instead of saying, no, not today, or no, you're not being good enough, she'd get him it. And me and Ricky would flip. Every time we go to the store, doesn't mean he gets something. It's my money. It's my nephew. He calls me Nana. I'm like his Nana. I'll do whatever. I went, oh my gosh. No. And I admit, with my blood nieces, my sister's children, I was the exact same. Aunt Becky, yeah, I want this Barbie. Okay, put it in my basket. Aunt Becky, I want these shoes. Put it in the basket. Aunt Becky, yes, I want this candy. I said, no. Please. I said, put it in the basket, but you only have one piece. And that's like, they only had one piece of candy from me. And I'd send the rest home with them to the mother. And I said, your kids, your candy, you always give them candy, so it's fine, because I see you give them it, so you never told me no. And I did used to ask, can I get them candy when they were little? And my sister used to say, go ahead. And I overspoiled. the middle one called Joanna. Because the others always wanted clothing, so I could buy them clothes, but Joanna wanted makeup, and yeah, my sister had more makeup. I wouldn't at that age that they started wearing makeup, but they wanted makeup, and I won't let my children wear makeup until they were almost 16. She wanted makeup, she wanted hair products, she wanted deodorants. She was really hygienic, she was feminine, she was perfect young lady. Now she's just saying, and it was her that gave me the idea of being a fashion person, making clothing. And I used to sew clothes, but one of my children got scissors and cut my electric cord to my sewing machine, and I haven't replaced it yet, and it's been a year. Go figure. I had a brother, and I'm looking for another one, but the prices have gone up from $98 to $200 and odd, and I'm like, where did that go? Rocky, out, move. You farted. Oh my. Out! You stinky bum. Out. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can lay in my office. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just let them out just before I started doing this video. And they were out while I made my coffee, which I boiled a kettle. I didn't do it by my coffee maker. I boiled a kettle that takes 10 minutes to boil. It's one of, excuse me. Yeah, I actually feel sick now. It's one of those whistle kettles on the stove, and they do take ages to boil. Oh, wow. I'm so glad this room does not linger the smells. Oh, that was rough. You know, I take my husband's nasty farts any day compared to a dog's. No, sir. No. 5 more minutes. Then you can, yes, thank you. Then you can come join me. Oh my gosh. Hey boy. Oh. Hey boy means OMG. It is dying off. It's bearable. Oh. Now you know I can't handle strong smells. Sometimes you wonder if I was a mother, because oh, I don't know, I think it's just the dog smells, it's just so bad. I'm gonna pick you up a little. No. There. No. There. Okay. Yeah, I've bonded with this one, because when I found out that he had a demon in him, I was like, no. I was very cautious around him, and then he settled down, and I settled. The moment he settled down, and my kids have seen the real person, the demon of him. He is kind of scary, but the kids have now got used to it. They still don't like being alone with him, and we will be alone with him if I'm in my office. but Henry's also learning to shut him out at the same time. Henry's really bonded with this Uriel, but sometimes he does get a little scared still. Well, a little nervous. He's not scared, but he's nervous, and it's like, yeah, not today. So if he gets like an unsettled vibe, he'll come out and say, not today, Uriel, not playing. Or he just ignores him, don't they? If he gets like bad vibes. It's only had one bad vibe like a few months ago. It was just like, oh, on the rebound. And Henry was walking into my bedroom and I was behind Henry. And Henry said, no, back up, Mum. I said, what's wrong with you? He said, Uriel's not in a good mood. Back up. And of course, me being a mother, I go in there and I said, you better change your attitude, kid. It ain't working on me. And I give him 5 minutes and Henry goes into the bedroom and he lays on my bed and plays on his phone, or he watches YouTube, or he does his homework, or he reads a book. So Henry's becoming to be a bookworm, which was good. I've been trying to get Henry to read books for a long time. Now, since he started middle school, aka high school, he reads a lot more, doesn't he? And you like it because sometimes Henry will read aloud, or sometimes Henry will read in his head. We changed back to our old ADHD people, and we've got the same counsellor that the kids loved, because the other one, and I know this sounds bad, but please don't go with them. If you live in the northwest Louisiana, don't go with them. And they come under northwest Louisiana, then something else. Just don't go with them, because they mess your child about. They don't fully care, because they get counselors, and then the counselors find a different job, or the counselor and the child doesn't build up a relationship. So I went back to the better place. So yeah, I will never ever leave them this time. The reason I left them is because I had a friend who said, ow, my shoulder cracked. She said, this is really good for your kid, because they have 3-4 counselors, so they see the same person, but if your kid is really struggling, they'll give you 4 counselors. And I said, okay, because they've only got 1 and they share him, and it's twice a week. And she says they have 4, so you can go every day of the week, or you just see 2 at the same day, and then miss a day or miss a 2 day and see 2 again. She went, it's up to you how you do it. So yeah, but luckily mine only need 1 each. Well, they give us 2, and then the boys did not build a relationship up with the second counsellor, and I said, I'm just going to cancel him until he does another one. Then we found someone else, and she said, I can't get into their file, I don't know why. Then she disappeared, and she says, then I get another call from a woman, another girl, and she says, I've taken your kid's case on, I'm going to be their new counsellor. And then she comes back and says, I've also been taken off the case. I'm no longer with them. I've gone on to someone else. And she says the best thing that you can do is find your children a better better counselor, or go back to your old one. I said, forget it, I'm going back to my old one, because I know that my counselor was great with my kids. And yeah, I will never, if a friend comes out and says, look, this is better for your kids, I'll say, yeah, I'm going to stay. I'm going to follow my gut instinct and stay where I am. And that's it. So I thought I'd have a chit chat with you. I'm a bit sad today because the kids are gone with their dad, which is nice. I can unwind a little. But it's the fact that I can't go. I'm never invited. And then you think, well, is it worth it? But you can't divorce. And yeah. The family hated me before they even knew I was a Jew. They just looked at me and didn't like how I looked. Obviously, when I first came here, I was skinnier than this and I was walking. But they didn't like how I looked. They didn't like my accent. They didn't like anything about me. Yet I kept persevering. I kept giving them olive branches. I kept bending over backwards to make them happy, give them things, invite them out, invite them to go for a drink, everything. I used to start the conversation, and it would be one little reply, and then they'd go quiet on me again, and then I'd start another one, and it'd be one little reply, or they would not reply to me and they'd walk away like I hadn't said anything. So that's how it used to be. That's how it's always been. And my sister said, just ignore them, you've got me, that's all you ever need. And then you got Ricky, and that's all you need. We're just a little family. Don't worry, they don't really bother with us, they're ignorant. And I was okay with it. And then she passed, and I was like, okay, I'm on my own. Kind of, because I've got children, but I'm still on my own, because me and Ricky never argued up until just before my sister died. And he said, my friends say there's something wrong with this relationship. And I said, why? He said, we don't fight, but from today we're always going to fight. And I thought he was joking. No. He yells, says things that's not nice, and I put up with it. So it's like a narcissist. I just put up with it because I know in the end, with everything that's going off in this world, we're not here that long. And I am just going to live life to the fullest. I'm going to live it my way. So I'm going to live as a single parent. Even though we share the same house, I do all the childcare, I do all the homework with them. I put them in the shower. Well, I'll tell them to get into the shower because Henry does himself. I make sure that the water is cool enough for Hunter because he's still 8 years old, so he still leans on me a little because he's still pretty young. And I put them in the shower when it's nice and, to his right temperature that he likes. Henry likes his showers way too hot than I'd like him to have it, but that's him. Because he'd come out and all his hair and his body's steaming, and and he's in his pajama bottoms. And I said, how hot did you have that shower? He says, Mom, I had the best hot shower anyone can ever have. And that's all he always says, and I just have to crack up. So away from his biting, he's a perfect gentleman. He is a perfect best friend you could ever have. If he only bites his brother, he don't bite no one else. So I put it down to brother fights, but I don't like the biting. I hate it. I hate biting. I hate people. I hate it all. Where they bite or they pull your hair, I don't like it. It don't wash with me. It don't sit well with me at all. So Henry lost his phone. He hasn't done it in, he hasn't been in a long time now. But when he does bite, he bites. And sometimes I say, are you a human being? Or are you a chimpanzee or a dog that bites? And he says, I'm human. I said, well, act it. And that's all I say. And when I say, are you this animal or are you, you know, he'll stop. And his brother does pick on him a little bit because and Hunter says, you're diabetic, you can't have candy. And Hunter don't eat candy, so I'm like, well, why are you telling that to Henry when you don't even eat candy yourself? Because you don't like candy at all. You don't like candy, you don't like stickers. He's never liked candy, he doesn't like chocolate. He likes, you know, ice popsicles. He likes ice cream. But not always with the ice cream. Now, popsicles are push-up pops. That's how you see he'll eat. Anything else? No. And he'll eat cake. He loves cakes. And you eat everything, don't you? He loves ice cream. I actually did it. I wasn't thinking, and my kids, I've got to move my legs out. My kids were eating ice cream one day, and I said, poor Uriel is left out. So I fed him some of mine. And the kids were like on a Debbie Downer. The kids just weren't happy that day. Something happened at school. It was like where Hunter was really sick in May with his gallbladder, and it was just leading up to the last few days of school, and Hunter had not been hospitalised at that point. He was hospitalised like 2 or 3 days later, and I had ice cream and I shared it with Uriel, and I said, oh my goodness, boys, have you seen his face? He's got all ice cream all over here and dripping down onto his t-shirt. And I said, can you see what Uriel's doing? He's eating all my ice cream, boys. And they was doubling over, laughing and cutting up. So I do silly things by using my rebounds to make the boys laugh a little. And it also helps, you know, break up the atmosphere. Change it back to being happy. Because I'm one of these that like happy life, smooth life, and I like to have fun, play pranks and stuff like that. My kids are also like that. They like to play pranking on everybody, as long as it doesn't go too far and it doesn't get dangerous, it's fine. I keep telling the kids, when you play a prank, don't go too far because it can turn wrong. So we do a lot of pranking on each other. They hide my shoes, and I'm like, I need to find my shoes. I'm not going out in my wheelchair with no shoes on. Yes, I don't have to walk, but my feet still have to go on the ground to get me into the truck or if I've got to transfer, my feet still have to be planted onto the ground even though I don't feel it. My feet do not just stay off the ground, they do go on the ground. And I end up finding it shoved under the sofa, shoved under my bed, shoved under my bedding. I'm like, gross, kids, even though my feet don't really touch the ground, they're still outside shoes. So they tried to prank the dad, but he doesn't like it. He doesn't really have a sense of humour for it. So I say, prank me all the time. I'm good with it. I like having a laugh. I like goofing off. If I can't goof off, then life's become boring. And so far, life ain't boring, not for me. Sometimes I do get sad. Obviously, I'm human. Yeah, you can come back, Rocky. I think he farted again, so I'm going to have to go let him out. Because sometimes he stinks himself out and he'll get up and move. Oh my God, it's a joy. I've always got to be happy. But today I am a little sad because I have a lot going around in my head. Like, what did I do wrong? But I know the moment they met me, they didn't like me. But still, it's like, what have I done wrong? Is it everything? And it's not just because I'm Jew. It's nothing to do with me being Jewish. It's just that sometimes, even if you're Christian or Catholic, you just marry into, you got a best friend, but you marry into, you know, not everyone's like your best friend, let me put it that way. So you can marry into the wrong kind of family. And I keep telling my kids, I said, you're going to find your own wife. I am not going to find your spouse for you. You're going to do it yourself. And I don't want you to do anything with them unless you're married. But when you get married, you can. But before that, I want you just to, hey baby, I know I'm coming. I just want you to, you know, you can date, but you can't do anything wrong. Lay down. Lay down, Rocky. No, no, no. Don't you lick my feet. That's how he bonds with me. He's lick my feet. And I'm like, no. I don't like it. Even though I don't feel it, I don't like it. Because one day he might clamp down on me and I won't feel it. And I'll just see blood. But, because that's what a dog used to do to me when I was little. So I'm going to go anyway because I need to go to do things myself. Uriel, if you sit there, I can't see you. And my phone can't really come down like that. I used to sit like this with Libby all the time. My eldest, and I'd sit on the floor and we'd just play together like this when she was, when she was a little toddler, and I'd play and have fun. It looks like you're happy today, Uriel. It looks like you're smiling. Yeah, you happy? Well, if you're happy, I'm happy. He really does have brown eyes today, but because it's so dark in here, his eyes look black, but they're not black. They're nice and brown because he's smiling. He has his face where it's just like neutral, or a poker face where you can't tell how he's really feeling. I call him my poker face boy sometime. But today he's happy because I can do this. I can actually do a video with him and take photographs of him. Like I said, I'll do a post on YouTube of a picture of him sitting on the hood of the stroller where Tovi and Serafina are laying. And I used to do it with Libby when Stephanie was in the stroller. There's, like I said, there's a year difference. I did used to have a twin stroller, but sometimes that twin stroller was not ideal and I used to have to make Libby walk. If we went to the park, it was like across the road and then up a block. So it was like a block or two away from us. And I used to say, right, you can walk. Just that little far, it's not that far away, it was just literally close. You can walk, and she'd walk. And then her little legs would get tired and I'd sit her up on the hood of the stroller and we'd go on about her business. I just said, you've got to hold on now. And she'd hold on to the side where the handle rim is. She'd hold on to that. Or sometimes I'd face her towards me if I didn't have the cup holder on. And we'd go about our business that way, and she'd put her hands on the outside or in the middle of where my hands were. And we'd ride like that. Today we played choo-choo trains, didn't we? I said, look, it's a train, we're going choo-choo. That's when he was sitting on the stroller hood. And that's the way I would do any child. I just like, you know, I'm in heaven when I have children around me having fun. When a child is not happy, then I'm not happy, because there's something seriously wrong. If a child's not happy, what's made them upset, what's made them sad, you know. See, it's coming light, so you can see his eyes are brown. He has these, you know, like if you've watched Twilight, I'm sure most of you have, and Edward Cullen has the amber or orange eyes. Well, that's his colour really. They're kind of a little bit like the Twilight saga. I love Twilight. And I'm actually stoked that it's coming up to the cinema again, even though I'm 45. Well, no, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm 46. I just turned 46 in February of this year. So I'm still stoked. I don't care how old I am. I was 29 when I saw it the first time. 2009. So yeah, I'm stoked that it's coming back. I love it when they do sagas like this. I don't know if they did anything for Renesmee, because they was talking about doing that. Then they did that little girl who got turned into a vampire by Riley. I think they did a movie, they were talking about doing a movie about that, but I didn't know if one came out or not, because I kind of like walked away from that kind of thing. So yeah, well, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, because if I don't, I'm gonna get like a upset stomach. I'm not gonna go eat. I just have to do something medically to myself. So when my medical needs happen, I have to cut things short. I could just pause it. Yeah, why not? Let me just pause it and we'll come back. Okay? I'll be back in a minute. Sure, no, we're back. It was more than a minute, but it's about 20 minutes. Because I got myself something to eat, because I felt pretty sick before I just left the video and let the dogs go potty. And I did myself a medical thing. We're back at me. Now this time we sit outside of me, because I think it's easier that way. I don't know. I'm probably coming down with something because I don't feel so good. Tinkerbell, you need a bath, go. No, you don't. Rocky always seems to bite the back of her neck or the small of her back, and it drives me insane. So he's sitting on the boppy pillow of the twins, as I have I have like Tovi in my arms and Serafina comes on this. She lays on this, and then I alternate. I put Toby down, pick up Serafina. But today, Mr. Uriel, my sweet little boy, is using it to prop himself up. He just wants to lounge back. I want to lounge back. And actually, I'm going to sit like I always sit. On my side. And that's how I sit. I can't get comfy now. Okay. Semi-cross leg. Now I'm going to shove that leg off the sofa. It's amazing when you can throw your legs around. And they look like rubber legs. One day I might show you, but it cracks you up because it does actually look like rubber legs. And I've got to be careful because I can snap a bone very easily. Because the muscles no longer work. The ligaments no longer work. But yeah. I'm just spasming through my foot. But there again, it just looks like when I move my feet, it looks like it's rubber. Fake legs, but it's not the real legs. They no longer feel, they no longer do anything apart from give me a spasm now and then because I didn't take my baclofen today. Because I need to make a new prescription for it. I need to call. I text my doctor, I don't call her. I send her an email and say, look, I need this. And bless her heart, she gives me it. But she's only there for another 6 months or a year. Because it's a teaching hospital. So they don't stay, they're not permanent. But I hope I get... Oh, shut up, stomach. I hope I get another good one. Where I can text her or him and he says, yep, I'll send it. I'll send it over to your pharmacy where you can pick it up now. But basically give me about 20 minutes to send it over and another 20 to 30 minutes for it to be done. So I gave it like 2 hours. I toddled off for an hour and a half and then I was toddled off to the pharmacy, which is at Walmart. I use Walmart pharmacy for their good RX because I pay for my pills. And everyone knows that baclofen is expensive. This one is a baclofen. It's 10 milligrams instead of the full whack I was on. I was on the full, I think it was about 40-50 milligrams every 3 hours when I broke my back and it was sending me loopy. And I said, I don't know who the heck I am. I don't know where the heck I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I keep spacing out. I keep going dizzy. I can't take this. So they completely took me off baclofen and I had to put up with all the spasms and everything. And it hurts when you like spasm. Because it's worse than, it's like a Charlie horse, but we don't feel the Charlie horse. We just feel the tense pain that goes with it. And our legs shake like that, like you're having a seizure. I had a spasm one time at Walmart and this lady says, oh my gosh, she's she's one of these, excuse me, that's to work with, and she's having a seizure. And I said, no, it's a spasm. My mind doesn't connect with my spinal cord anymore. So somewhere it thinks it's in pain and it's gonna kick off. Like I'm shaking in pain. I'm not in pain, not like it thinks it is. So I can move my legs and automatically my legs thinks that something heavy like a truck has basically hit my legs and it'll start shaking and it's ridiculous. So we don't just break our back and lose our feeling and our legs. We lose everything, and then we have constant pain and spasms, which is quite good. I do let my spasms happen because they keep the muscle tone, not perfect, but it keeps the muscle tone in your legs. I just wish my upper arms would spasm. Sometimes I get it in my bicep here, where it throbs like that, but it doesn't make my arms shake like that. Sometimes I wish it would, so that it'd build up extra muscle. Yeah. The joys of it all. And I just keep looking at TV. There's nothing on it. It's just, if you've got Roku, you know the background of the Roku, that's what I've got on it. Because I was watching Van Life. And I like stuff like that because it's travel, and I love to travel. And there is a girl, I think she lives in Canada, or top end of America, going into Canada, and she's paraplegic from chest down as well, like me, and she lives full time in her van, and she has this like a lift that attaches to her wheelchair, and it picks her chair up and then puts it outside and then lowers her down. And she's in it. So it's like a swing, because she could swing back and forward if she wanted to. I wouldn't advise it, but she could swing back and forward. And it's one of them that lower her down. And then she hooks it back up. She brings it out, because it goes into a van. And she brings it out, and then she lowers it. And she hooks up, and it doesn't get in her way when she's in the van. And it's a normal transit van. Or, normal vans you see on the road. And she's got a bed, and she's got a kitchen. She actually got a kitchen. And I'm not sure if she has a... Think about quick, she's going to knock my tripod. She keeps going near me, she goes away, she comes back. She always lays underneath my wheelchair anyway, but the wheelchair's pushed back a little because my tripod's there. So yeah, I watch her a lot because she goes on adventures, and she goes canoeing, which I'm not a water person anymore since getting injured. So I will not venture onto the water or a lake in a canoe. No siree, I will not do it. Nope, not me. My kids will, not me though. No, I can't swim anymore. I've tried to learn myself because I already know how to do it. I can no longer swim. I sink like I'm a brick. Nah, it's not happening. So when I go to the Y with the kids, I do get in the water. I can only stay in the water for an hour, and then my back is like, on my body, my whole body with the nerve pain is like, I need to move, I need to get out, I need to get out now. And they have a chairlift, and I get in the chairlift. So yeah. You know this, like I said, I might have a chest infection because I'm wheezy. It'll be gone by tomorrow. That's the funny thing about it. Because when I breathe normally with my mouth shut and I don't say a word, there's no wheezing. But when I go like that, a big deep breath, there's a little bit of a wheeze. I'll keep an eye on it, but we have to keep an eye on it after breaking your back. Anybody who's broke their back will tell you the same thing. Your health declines. So you've got to be You got to pretend that your body's a baby again, and you're checking the baby if it's breathing right, or if it's making this wheezy sound or crackling sound. Get the baby to the doctor. Then you do it for yourself. You get your body to the doctor, because your body is like a baby again, in a roundabout way. So if it falls sick, you need the doctor straight away, or ER. We suffer from UTIs quite a lot, and touch wood, I have not had a UTI in a while. Rocky, quick. He will lick and chew on his feet. I've taken him to the vet thinking he's got fungus on his feet that some dogs get. No, his feet's clear. Her feet is clear, but they still gnaw on the feet, like their hands, like they're, you know, like where a baby does that a lot. They gnaw on their hands if they're hungry. Or little toddlers still put their hands to their mouth. This is how these two dogs are. That's why I constantly say they're my babies. Because they're like children, they're like babies. But Rocky sometimes, yeah, he farts and he irritates me. Because then I instantly start feeling sick, like I'm going to throw up. Because I can't handle strong smells, never been able to as a kid. I could walk into public toilets, and if you smell bad, like someone's just taken a number 2, and it smelled really bad, I'd say, Mom, I'm holding it because I'll just pee myself somewhere else because it stinks in here. I can't do it. And I'd turn around and walk back out and leave my mum standing there. And she'd come out and say, Becky, you know you just embarrassed me, right? I said, I don't care. I'm going to tell you the truth. That toilet stinks. So I'm just glad that I actually can use catheters, not an indwelling. It's, you use it as you go, but I can actually say I can pee up a tree if I need to. I said it on YouTube today. I can honestly say, in the woods, I can pee up a tree. Oh dear. The silly things I do. The silly things I come out and say. I bet my husband won't let me take my rebounds. If I do, I have to pretend that I am having anxiety. Or I need it because my kids are so sick. But it's not that. I just want them with me, you know. I just like holding things. Or having something, you know, a baby. Because my baby years are over. 1, I'm too bloody old. And 2, I don't want to have another kid. Even though I would have another one, but I don't want one. And number 3, they don't need changing. They don't need, well, they do. Sometimes their diapers do go funny on them. They don't need changed every minute. They don't need feeding. And they don't throw up on you. And they don't poop on you either. Oh my goodness. I could tell you a story about that. All my kids have pooped on me and peed on me. And they've thrown up on me. It's ridiculous. Oh dear. It's so funny though. You see, now I'm really relaxed at doing these videos with reborns. Even videoing, I'm relaxed with it. So you're like, I'm sitting with a friend, I'm sitting with family, and I'm just telling you how things are. And Uriel's joining me. Sometimes I wish you could talk and tell you a story. You'd tell him a few things, wouldn't you? He loves being outside. He loves being outside. He's only been outside that one time in the backyard where he was standing up in the seat, in the chair that it's like a spring and it goes like that. You can sit on it and go like that on it. So it's like a spring chair. Or if you're in a playground and you see these rockers on coils, that's how that chair is. And we've got a swinging 2-seater. It could be a 3-seater if you're skinny enough. So seat. It's green. I mean, that was pure green when I came here, and I was just going rusty because of weather. And they took down the awning at the back, which used to cover our furniture. No rain really got into it. There was a gap between the house and the awning. And rain would go down there, but it would never, if you moved the furniture into the middle of the awning or away from the wall of the house, it wouldn't get wet. And now, my husband's let it overgrown with grass. It's ugly, it's ridiculous. His dad was 89 years old when he died. Up until the day of him going into the hospital, he went in on the Tuesday, he died on the Friday. Up to that day, even though he was riddled in cancer, it was in his bones, everything. Even though he was sick, he still went outside. He still built rocking chairs, and he made sure that the grass stayed where it's supposed to be, and the bricks didn't have no grass in it. My husband just let it overgrow. It looks awful. I used to love being in the backyard. Sometimes I just go in the backyard because I want my kids in the these kids in the backyard with me. And people are not going to say, is that a real baby or is it a doll? So I'm not going to get it every minute or let me feel what your doll feels like. Let me feel it then if it's not real, because it looks real. And yeah, I let people touch my dolls. I let them gently touch them. But then you get these that don't realize they're heavy-handed and they squeeze a little, and I'm like, well, you're going to break it, or she's a silicone, you're going to damage the silicone. If you won't do it to a real baby that hard, don't do it to a silicone that hard. And this one, because his legs kind of bend, but they only bend like that. That's as far as his legs will bend to. Instead of bending normally, it's just like that. It's a 5-degree, 10-degree angle. They don't bend normal. So just bend just a little bit. So he can't sit on my feet, on my knee. So he has to stand on my foot plates. But if I had the proper foot plates on, he won't be able to stand on that either, because his legs don't separate wide enough. And I know I can hear voices outside because my driveway joins onto their driveway, but our houses don't connect. So if they're having an argument, I won't know about it unless they bring it out into the street. That's how quiet it is. It's so good not to be joined on. Because in Britain, and even in Israel, the houses are joined together. You get the odd one that's not, but they're more expensive than the ones that are joined. And I've always lived in a semi-detached house. Never were separated like this in America. I love the American way of the houses not being joined. Yeah, you can still get houses in America that are joined together, but they're mostly condos or apartments. So yeah, I like houses like this. This is a huge house. I call this the house of doors, because I've got a door in front of me, which is Hunter's bedroom. Then I've got a door right next to my son's bedroom, but it's facing that way. So it's going that way. How do I do it? That way. That's my tornado shelter, because I'm in Tornado Alley where I live. And then next to that door, there's a little bit of, like that much of a wall. Then there's my door frame that leads to my office and kitchen, and then you got that wall. Then this window here, and then you got two windows over there, and of course you've got the front door. Then you go through my office and you get to a door on this side, on your right, if you're facing that way. That's my bedroom. You go straight on, that's going into the kitchen. You'll see the dryer, the fridge, and there's your kitchen. Then where the door is, that goes into the kitchen, the side of that is the washing room and the water tank for the hot water. There's a door in my office that's on the left wall, and that's got the boiler room for the AC. Then you go to the back door. Then at the side of the back door is another door, and it's like a little landing, a little square. In front of that, you go through a door, and then in front of it is the bathroom. Then you turn right, that's my husband's bedroom, and the door is very thin. I can't get into my husband's bedroom. I can't get nowhere near it. I can't even use the Jack and Jill bathroom that attaches to my son's bedroom, which used to be mine. So you've got that door. Then you still need to come back into the kitchen, go that way, opposite the back door. Then you've got another like little landing. I can fit my wheelchair through there. Then you've got Henry's room on your right. Then you've got the boiler room for my husband's AC. And then in front of you is the dressing room door that leads into Hunter's bedroom. And that's why I call it the House of Doors. And my sister used to laugh her socks off, because I said, this is a house of doors, not an house of windows. It's almost like a house of windows, because there's 3 windows in here. There's 3 windows in Hunter's room. There's 2 windows in Henry's. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 windows in my bedroom. So I've got a double window and another double window side by side. And then I've got a window on the back wall here, because here's my double window. Then I've got a window. Then I've got a partition, and then I've got a wall. Then I've got the final window. Then I've got a window in my bathroom, which is not frosted. So there's a blind up in there. Then I have my closet, my walk-in closet, and my wheelchair does fit in there. I can fit into Henry's room, and I can force my wheelchair. I've got to bang my wheelchair into the sink in the Jack and Jill bathroom. But it can't have no foot plates on. I can jam myself into the bathroom, then turn around. Nobody can get in the bathroom on my son's side, but they can get into the bathroom on my husband's side, and then into the kitchen, because that bathroom's for everybody. Mine is supposed to be private, but my kids use it because they said their dad's bathroom isn't as clean as mine. And cleaning that bathroom, well, you can clean it till you go blue in the face, and within minutes it's got pee droplets on the toilet basin. And it's just, no. And it runs down the front of it or the side of it. And it's like, why don't you be normal and just pee in front of it, over it, not stand away from it, go over it. But no, my husband pees on the side, so he'll stand on the side of the toilet, at the side of the toilet, should I say, he doesn't stand on the toilet. He stands at the side of the toilet instead of coming round as, you know, like you would, like we women do. We sit facing where the toilet's facing. So the front of the toilet's there, we sit facing the same way. No, they go to the side of it and a tiddle. And on mine, you can't get to the side because my bathroom is so tiny. I'll show you one day how my bathroom really looks. And you'd be amazed how I can actually fight my wheelchair into it. There's nothing wheelchair friendly in the bathrooms on either side. This house really is not wheelchair friendly. And my husband said it's not going to change it to make it that way. So I've learnt to adapt and bang into things and scrape things to get around. So there is a few scuff marks and a few dents on my dryer because it's basically, there's a doorway into the kitchen and my dryer is right next to it. So there's a bumps and scrapes. So yeah, that's me. This house might have a ramp at the front, but it's only 70% wheelchair friendly because I'm adding the ramp to it now. So it's 70% friendly because I can make it work. I make it work. The counters are the same height as a regular house counter. The stove is not short. Nothing is accommodating for me, which is fine. If I'm baking cakes or I'm making bread, I go to the table, which comes up to here. I can still mix my batter and stuff like that. I can still roll my pastry out. It doesn't really fully change anything. I'm just thinking, what else? Because I've only been on here 2 hours. So I decided to give you 2 hours of me. And I'm relaxed. I'm nice and relaxed, laid back, talking to you. I do have 2 channels. I've got one's my paralysed channel. And it's called The Journey of a T2 Paraplegic. Because I used to go places. I used to go to Bass Pro and show you on the Broadwalk. Now, my husband used to walk with us, so I couldn't always do videos because he doesn't like me recording. He hates me recording stuff because he likes to swear and he likes to cuss up a storm. And every word is always the F-bomb or the SB, the son of a, yeah. So nothing sweet comes out of his mouth. Sometimes I lose it and I pull him up and say, you're supposed to be a Baptist. I didn't know Baptists swear like a sailor. And I'm not meaning nothing against you Baptists. It's just I'm sure when you speak, you do not, every word you come out with is not a swear word. He says is a redneck, but he makes rednecks look bad. Because I have a friend that's a redneck. And he's from Mississippi with his wife. And she's as redneck as you can get. And so is he, and he's nowhere near. So, yeah. It is what it is. I'm not going to change it. If I was going to live, if this world was not going the way it is, I would get out. tomorrow I would be gone. But because the world is going the way it is, it's going to an end soon, I can put up with it. He doesn't hit me. He's hit me once in my arm. He punched me so hard. Sorry, he's done it twice, and I bowed up to him. And I've been paralysed. The only time he's hit me is after being paralysed. And I stood up to it. I bowed up to him. And he did it in the car, and I said, "You have hit me like that again. And I'm going to come undone." He's not done it since. He says because I've got red hair, so yes, I do have a fiery temper, but I don't use it. My temper's too laid back. I'm too laid back to lose my temper. I used to be stroppy little shit. I used to be stroppy. When I was a teenager, right up into being 25 years old, I used to be a stroppy git. And I didn't care if I hurt your feelings or not. I used to be that kind of person of stroppy. I will lose my temper. Never hit a man. Never will I ever hit a man. But I've been a stroppy little sod. And then I think when I was 20, 10 days before I turned 20, I had my first daughter. When I had her, because I was stroppy all the way through pregnancy even, and when I had her, that was it. My temper disappeared. I have never ever lost my temper. Not like I used to. And I became a completely calm, different person. Yes, I've had postnatal depression or prenatal depression. Prepartum depression, postpartum depression. And I've had postnatal. That's what it means in Britain. And Israel. We don't say postpartum in Israel either. So yes, I've had depression from giving birth, and I've only had it twice. I had it with Libby because it was a traumatic labour, and I nearly died. And I had no help because my first husband said, "Why is she crying? What's she crying for? Shut her up." I'm like, "She's crying because I'm making her a bottle. I'm cooling it down, or I'm warming it up because I made it previous." And she woke up periodically before a normal 4 hours, and she'd cry, and I'm saying, "I'm trying my best, I'm hugging her, I'm rocking her in my arms, I'm bouncing myself." And so she's being rocked and everything. I'm walking the floor. "What do you want me to do?" She don't come with no manual. And she definitely don't come off with an off switch so I can make you happy. She was the difficult little one. I had to walk the streets at night. 2 o'clock in the morning, I had to walk the streets of Liverpool, because I lived in Liverpool most of my life. And I had to walk the streets of Croxteth. Yes, one of the bad places of Liverpool, where you can get shot just for walking, or stabbed just for being outside. And it's near Croxteth Park, or Croxteth Farm, Family Farm Park, and all that. And I used to walk the streets, the main streets, and a few times the police officers were pulled up beside him, and I thought, "Oh my God, what have I done now?" So I didn't mean to. Sometimes I say, "Oh my God," but I'm trying not to. And I think, "Uh-oh, now what? I'm in trouble for nothing. I've not done anything." And he'd come out and say, "Why are you walking your new baby?" And she wasn't really new. She was my back was on 15. And she wasn't really new. She was a few months old. And I told him, or told her, depending if it was a male or female officer. And I used to say, "She screams blue murder. She goes to sleep about 10 o'clock. By midnight, she's wide awake. By 2 o'clock, she's screaming the house down. The only way I can stop her from crying is walk the streets." So there was always a pattern. And I tried to break it, but it wouldn't. and I'd have to go walk the streets. My husband wouldn't do it, and I'd walk the streets. Oh, it said this baby's ruined my life, and I said, well, you wanted her too. And the police officers realised what time I'd walked the streets, and they'd packed the car onto the sidewalk because it was kind of wide, so they'd park it off the road or halfway on the road, halfway on the sidewalk, and they'd walk me around and around, because I used to walk around about 2 times or 3 times depending on Libby, and it became a pattern. No, my husband's not back here, the car. And they'd walk with me, and then I said, right, this is my final lap around the block. I'm going to take her in because she seems to be fast asleep. And he'd walk me to the door and he'd leave me, or she'd walk me to the door and leave me, and then they'd walk back to the car. So they were doing a little bit of the beat on their feet, a little bit of bobbies walking around the street, and it became every night thing up until she was 4 months old. And then my elf visitor, she said, Becky, you are working yourself into the ground, love. You're just, doing everything. That's really not normal. And I said she cries from 3 in the afternoon till 6 o'clock at night. And she had acid reflux. I knew why she was crying, because she was in pain, and she had this like sachet stuff, this powdery stuff that you'd have to put into her milk so that she could take in her milk and settle her stomach. No, she's not lactose intolerant. She can drink milk, but she had acid reflux severely. And the heaviness of the formula would trigger it off. So she was on every milk you could think of. She did go on to lactose intolerant baby milk, baby light formula, everything to try and combat it as well. Then that stopped. She said every time after you feed her, make sure she's settled, and then put her into a stroller and push her up and down in the house. She don't know whether she's outside or inside. You do, but she doesn't. She's too young. So just push her up and down in the stroller and she'll stop. It did, it worked. Just like that, instantly. It worked. And she went, when she does it at night time, bring her downstairs, put her into a stroller, pretend you're going outside, push her up and down. She don't know if she's inside or out. And it worked. She went, you don't, because I had a carry cart, also known as a bassinet. If you're in America, you can leave her in it. It's not going to damage her back. It's not going to do anything because she's padded. Underneath, she's got like I used to put my Moses basket, aka bassinet mattress, into the carry cot, so she had extra padding. And they said you could leave her like that and just carry the carry cot upstairs and get to sleep that way. And it was good, it worked. So I was no longer outside, and the police came to my door when they were on the day duty, and they said, Becky, we don't see you walk the streets no more. And I told them what I was doing, and they said, you know what, you've actually made my day saying that, because every time we saw you on the streets we kind of freaked out, because 1, you're a girl, 2, it's not really safe for you to walk around at night, and it's a dual carriageway. It's not safe for you to be walking around during the night with the children, because that's where you get the speeding people going up and down the streets or the roads at night time. So I said, yeah, it's pretty good. The officer told me what to do. So we took it from there. So yeah, I've done it all. At first, my first husband used to make the baby formula for me when I was tired. He'd feed her, he'd change her diaper, he'd dress her. So sometimes he wasn't 100% bad, 95% he didn't help. And then this husband didn't help me, so I'm used to it. And then he cheated with my best friend, did my first husband, and I divorced him. I filed for divorce November 28th, just 2 days after his birthday, my husband's birthday. I filed for divorce, and I never said, oh, happy birthday, here's your divorce papers. I said, look, I don't want to be with you no more. Here's the divorce papers, sign it. Well, it was a get. I said, sign it. And he signed it. He said, why did you divorce me? Why didn't you just say it was because I beat you or something? Why did you tell them the truth of me cheating? Now it's always going to be against me. And I said, I'm not going to lie. I will not lie. I will not lie to cover no one's butt. Not even my children's. If they've done something severely wrong, or they've done something wrong anyway, I'm not going to cover them. I'm not going to say, oh, my kid won't do that. I'm saying, oh my gosh, my kids did that. And then I'd freak out. Like, oh my God, why did they do that? Sorry, I did it again. Oh my gosh, why did they do that? Why did they do this? Luckily, touch wood, I've not had anyone complain about my kids. So, yeah. My son, my youngest, is 8, Hunter. He's a bit of a terror at school with the teachers. He gives them a run for their money. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you poor teachers. Because he does me the same way when he's at home. The only thing different is he wants to be on top of me 24/7. So I told his teachers it's a separation anxiety he's got. But the more you're yelling at him, the more anxiety he's getting. So everything that goes wrong is Hunter's fault. Every time there's a fight, it's Hunter's fault. A kid gets sick because they've hit Hunter first, it's Hunter's fault. So with his last teacher, it was never always Hunter's fault. She actually saw the full picture. Now I've got somebody else. And I used to like her until Hunter came home and said, she tells everybody to shut up. I hate that word. You don't say shut up to a child. You said, now can you be quiet so we can do work? Can you be quiet so we can watch a movie? I have never ever told my children to shut up. I've never said shut up, be quiet. I always say, can you be quiet so we can do work? Because I do work with them at the table. If they've got homework, or sometimes on the weekend I'll do extra work with them, and they fight and fight, and I'm like, can you be quiet, otherwise you're going to go into timeout or stand in a corner with your face in the wall, and I don't want to see you for at least 5 minutes, and then you can come back and join us again. And that's how I do my kids. And at school they can't even do that anymore. They can't send you into timeout. And I'm like, no wonder these kids are little brats, because parents don't discipline them. Not everybody does anyway. They have this gentle parent thing going off. Where the heck did that come from? And then you have parents that do discipline their children, but then at school, the schools are no longer allowed to discipline your child by saying go to the corner or go sit over there, I don't want to see you. It's just ridiculous. Yes, I used to be a teacher. You know, like, I wasn't a sub teacher, but I was like the second teacher in a classroom. So yes, after leaving military in 2018. Not 2018, to 1998. I would only be 1999 is when I left. I went in when I was 16. I came out when I was 19. I did my 3 years, and all them 9 years was fun. I went to one as a peacekeeper and as a fighter pilot. I went to one war. It was basically over when I went in, and that was in Bosnia when they were fighting against their neighbour. So I went in there, and yeah. Never been to a full war like Iraq. I was supposed to be. If I stayed on, my unit was going to go to Iraq, and I was like, nah. My mum's told me to leave. So I'm going to listen to my mother, and I'm going to leave. And yeah, my squadron did go to Iraq. My nephew's been to Iraq. And now I've got another nephew that's in the army, the American army, and he's not yet been posted anywhere. So it is what it is. Well, this is Uriel. I've enjoyed talking to you. My Timo haul has not arrived. Some of it has, and I've shared it with you. I'm still getting things from last December. So yeah. Me and Uriel say Shalom Shalom. Have a great Saturday. Today is our Shabbat. I'm not working or anything. We can take naps if we want, but I don't think me and Uriel are going to go to sleep, are we? Even though you look tired. No, I've got things to do when I come off here. Might make it, well, I'm 9. I was going to go outside, but it's kind of wet because we did have, it's 2 o'clock. It was 10 to 1 when I went into the kitchen when I paused the video. So I'm going to go. I've been on for 2 hours and 2 minutes. I am not going to do 2 hours and 2 minutes all the time, because I'm not always on my own. So I'm going to go. Like I said, me and Uriel said Shalom Shalom, which means peace. So peace be with you. Be happy, be safe, always smile. Don't lose your temper, it's not worth it. And don't really be sad. Talking to you when I was relaxed right there, my sadness just disappeared. So you all picked me up, and I thank you for that. So if you like my video, well, if you watch my videos, please consider liking and join me. I do ramble about family life, but then again I keep it real. I've never ever learnt how to lie, because I did lie once as a kid and my mum taught me up one side down the other. I mean, she levered my butt for lying. I will never lie again. Something got broken in the family home and it was me. And I said it was my sister. Because we were both messing about, but it was me that broke it. And it was not replaceable either. And you know, one of those nice Japanese Chinese vases you can get? Well, this was from Israel, and it went through family to family to family. So it was like 150 years old when I was a kid. And I accidentally knocked it over. Mum said, "Who broke it?" And I said, "It weren't me, it was her." Pointed to my dear sister. That we were literally having a fist fight. Mum let us do it to a point, and she said, "I'm sick of it. Just stop." And we won't stop that one day, and she left to go into the kitchen because she knows we wouldn't have decked each other severely. It would never really hurt no one. And she heard this crash, and she came in and said, "What was that?" And then she saw the vase on the floor. It was always outside of the fire, and it had the twin to it. And she went, "Who did this?" And I said, "It was her." And my sister said, "No, it wasn't. It was her. Tell the truth." So I didn't tell the truth, so my mum smacked my sister's butt, and she smacked mine. And I said, "Yes, Mum, it was me. I lied." And so I got an extra spanking on my bum. And then I had to speak to my dad because it was from his family. And that didn't go too well. My dad didn't spank me, but he told me what he thought of it. He never cussed me, he was never mean. But he told me what he thought at that point, how I made him feel. So I stopped lying. That was my one time of lying, and I never did it again. Never ever will I do it again. Never in a million years will I tell a lie. I should have owned up the moment, but kids don't. They always say it's someone else. My kids are doing it, and even though I'm not almost like my mum, I won't smack them, but I'm almost like my mum. Like if they break anything, you pay for it. So I said, right, you better go find money. You better go earn money, or you better go borrow it off your dad to pay for what you've just broken of mine. They go get it off their dad. They pay me and I give it back to their dad behind their back. But still, I'm learning whatever you break, even in a store, you pay for it. So yeah, that's the way I'm raising my kids. I'm strict but fair. But I'm not as strict as my mum and dad. Oh wow. But they are Hasidic Jews, so they are literally strict. Supposed to be strict. I can't be that strict. And I refuse to find my daughters a husband, and I refuse to find my sons a wife. You do it yourself. I ain't doing it for you. I know what it feels like to be in that kind of situation where your parents find your wife or a husband for you. No, I'm not in it. I'm glad I left the Hasidic Jew. It's very difficult being a woman in there. It's not bad. It just can be difficult sometimes, you know. Well, I better go. 2 hours and 7 minutes. My phone's basically dead. So I'm going to say shalom, shalom for real for now. Go make yourself a coffee. Go make yourself something to eat. Chill out. Watch a movie. Life is for living and having fun. So, yeah. Shalom, shalom.